Hello, hi. Okay, this is my second take of this sketchbook tour. The first one was a hot mess, so I'm redoing it. But yeah. Feel free to put on some music while you watch this because I'm pretty much just not gonna edit this at all. Unless I really, really need to. I'm just so burnt out from my last take that I just don't. I just want to do this and get it over with. But yeah, this time I'm not gonna do a voiceover. I'm gonna do a live narration kind of thing. I think it would be a lot better as I can talk about it and for as long as I need to. But yeah, okay, let's get into it. So this is my second sketchbook tour, another Stillman and Burns Zeta series mixed media sketchbook. First page, start and end date. I did feature this in my last sketchbook tour video, if you watch that. Here we have just some doodles and sketches. It's always daunting whenever you don't know what to put on the first few pages, so you can kind of tell I was just I really didn't know what to put, so I just put Vampire Lady, Studio Ghibli, Spirited Away doodles. Some more doodles. I really like those sketchbooks that look like they have that they're collages kinda with lots of texture, lots of stickers, lots of sticky notes, lots of just random shit glued in. I really like those kind of things. So I'm trying to emulate that in this sketchbook. This is a watercolor painting of my boyfriend that I hate how it turned out. Yeah, I'm not really someone that uses watercolor anymore. So, yeah. And then here we have a spread of Julian Casablancas from the You Only Live Once music video. I was gonna have all these lyrics here and it was gonna be really cool and stuff, but I didn't finish it. This is not surprising for me. You'd think because it's smaller and in my sketchbook I would be able to finish it, but such is not the case. So, I do. Part of me wants to revisit it, but just the fact that I've already started my new sketchbook and this one's over and done with, it's just why bother? But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll come back to it, or maybe I'll recreate it, but I'm not gonna finish the recreation either, let's be real. So this was when I went to Turkey and I had some limited supplies. I only had a pencil bag full of the stuff that I wanted, my essentials. So yeah, I was just doodling myself mostly in some outfits that I wore over there. And just some doodles of Girlfriend from Friday Night Funkin' because I did briefly get into that over there. And then some more doodles. This is more of that collage stuff I was talking about. I actually got a little booklet of sticky notes. This came with all these cute sticky notes and I was like, this is perfect for putting in my sketchbook, so I would bombard, well, really only this page, but I put a lot of the sticky notes, and I do like how it all turned out, very colorful. And then, yeah, this is a ticket stub from a museum I went to in Turkey. And then over here we have a spread inspired by Catching Smoke by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. This was when I was still in Turkey, so I didn't have all my supplies with me, but this is when I got back, and I was able to make that spread that I really wanted to. I really wanted to make this, but blown up on the entire page, so you can kind of see that's what I attempted here, but it ended up becoming a process spread, which I like that too. I'm very process heavy, I think. And then more doodles. I was breaking in my Ohu markers because I hadn't really had the chance to use them before I had left. Yeah. I remember I posted this on my story and all my friends are like, is that you? That looks like you. It's not me, but I wish it were. I'm flattered that people think I look like that, but that's not me. That's closer to me, but yeah. And yeah, there's a lot of color blocking on this page because in my old sketchbooks, I would have the really big 9x12 ones. And I would always have a little sketch on the full page, and then I would flip to the next page, not even use the back, and just start drawing, and it was very wasteful. So I wanted to break out of that and fill the entire page, fill the negative space with color, if not a drawing. So I do like how that all turned out. And then here we have sketches for mutuals. Do this in your style on Instagram. And then this is just a commission sketch. And then these two pages are taped together, and that's mainly because when I show the sketchbook to people in person, I don't really want them looking at this page, and you'll see why. I'll show y'all. It's also up on my Instagram. But it's just a picture of me. And yeah, if I was like showing this to someone I didn't really know in real life, I think it would be a little weird, so that's why I have these two pages taped up. It's just for that reason. And then on the side over here, we have Empress of Light doodles from Terraria. And then over here, just some vent shit. And then here is some doodles of me and my boyfriend at prom, and then me in an outfit that I really liked. This entire spread is of commissions. I'm so sorry if you can hear my dog right now, but yeah, yeah, commissions, woo. And then this is a receipt that my parents got when they were buying art supplies for me in Spain, and I just taped that in here and did some sketches and doodles of another painting that you will see in the sketchbook real soon. Over here we have some requests that I took on Instagram. I really wanted to like put more color in my sketchbook since these like last two weren't that colorful, and even this page. But yeah, I used my Ohu markers and Copic markers and Sharpies and all that, and I really do like how that page turned out. It's very nice. And then this is when I started college. We were doing a lot of observational drawings in my drawing class, and I was like doing that when I had gotten outside of class. I was just drawing the people around me. Yeah. And then over here, some graphic design notes. Here is when I really got into Mitski, and I was particularly obsessed with these lyrics from Brand New City. And that really inspired me to make something based around those lyrics. So that's kind of what happened on this page. I mean, up here it's just kind of like random stuff. But down here I was like, you know what? I kind of want to... I've been talking about painting my longboard, but I haven't really gotten into like exploring what I want to do for that. So I started brainstorming around that Mitski lyric. I wanted to paint something based around that Mitski lyric. So this is my process spread of the various ideas that I had for my longboard. Now usually whenever I do things like these where I make like thumbnails and like test out mediums, make a small version of it, I'm usually able to narrow it down to what I want exactly. But for some reason I couldn't really narrow down what I wanted for this one. Yeah, I was just like completely derailing from like that to that. I was like, well, my thought process was like, I could just draw like a half body, but then I was like, well, what if I drew a full body? So it was very like all over the place. So then I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna just break out my paints and I'm just gonna do some paintings kind of related to what I was already doing, because I hadn't really been doing gouache work up to this point. So yeah, I did like how these monochromatic stuff turned out. So then on this page, I thought I had narrowed down to what I wanted to do, which is here. So I decided to say fuck it and do a giant spread of what I wanted. And then I hated how this turned out. So then I started again, and I hated how that turned out. And then I started again over here, and I hated that even more than these last two. So I actually gessoed over it. I don't know if you can tell, but like right here you can tell there was like an old artwork underneath the gesso. So I calmed down and I was like, okay, let me just paint something not related entirely that I would actually like doing. So that's how this came to be, and I do like how this little thing turned out. And then I was like, well, what if I recreated this painting that I made a few years ago? The painting is called Eclipse, and it was based around that eclipse that happened a few years ago. I think it was like 2017, maybe 2016. But yes, I was very inspired by that. Um, I will have a link down below of the post that has this painting, because this painting I think is probably one of my best works, probably one of my best gouache paintings ever. And I was like, well, I could recreate it and see how I've improved since I think so highly of that painting. So I pulled up some references on Pinterest, and I really liked this particular one that I found, so I was doing the thumbnails for all that. And that's how this page came to be. So, yeah, yet another unfinished painting in my sketchbook. If you watched my last tour, you'd know that there are quite a few unfinished paintings in there, so this really shouldn't be a surprise. But I do like how this turned out. I think I've improved. I don't know if it's up to the same caliber. I still think my last one is a little better, but I'm still proud of this. And I ended up using it for Gore-tober day 1 since I was already kind of on theme, but we'll get into that in a bit. But yeah. And then over here we have the process page for a birthday card that I made for a friend. I do like this like little spread here. And then over here is kind of just a bunch of like nothing. At this point, I was kind of art blocked after I'd finished making that birthday card, and I didn't really know what to do. This is from when I was thinking about getting bangs, and I ended up buying a clip-on bang because I just didn't feel like committing to getting an actual bang, and I'd say that was a pretty good decision because I can just throw it on whenever. But yeah, yeah, just really not much of anything on this page. So I was like, okay, let's revisit my AU, which is Zeota, and you can find some more information about that AU under the AUOC highlight on my Instagram page. So yeah, I just did a panel redraw, drew some characters, kind of flipped up some designs. Okay, over here, I was looking through my old sketchbooks, and some of them were very like Zeota heavy sketchbooks. There was one that had a lot of like random like comic pages from my AU, so I ripped out one, taped it in here, and I was like, I'm gonna recreate this and see how far my style has come, because this was in 2018, so 3 years ago. And then I recreated it here, and then I tried coloring it in with colored pencil, and I absolutely hated how it looked, so I abandoned that. But I will try to recreate another comic page and not try to hate it as much in the future. And this is where I decided that I wanted to do Gore-tober, because as edgy as this sounds, I've always really liked drawing bloody stuff, and I used to like be into like drawing, yeah, bloody gory stuff, especially on DeviantArt. But yeah, so for this Gore-tober, I decided that instead of following one list and all the prompts that come with that list, I was going to pick a bunch of different lists and mix and match prompts, and I thought that would help with like, because I had attempted a 30-day drawing challenge before, but I gave up after a few days, and I think that was mainly because I was so like boxed in within this list. So I felt that if I just kept changing up lists and prompts and doing things that I actually wanted to do instead of feeling like I had to make something for this prompt, it would help actually sticking to finishing Gore-tober. But we'll see how that turned out. But yeah, this was day 2, sensory loss. That's the one I picked out of all my different lists. And I do like how this one turned out. Did it on a scrap piece of Bristol. And then for day 3, I just went with a spread for this one. And I had chosen cannibalism. And I thought about doing a more like in your face, like, yes, they're literally eating a fucking human head. But then I was like, well, maybe it could be more implied. So I designed like a quick design of a 50s diner girl with like a blood human soup. And then I used a RuPaul quote, which that's like, this is probably the last context I would expect to be using a RuPaul quote, but it was kind of fitting. So, over here on this page, day 4, I didn't even consider any of the other day 4 options, as you can see. I just went straight ahead with the prompt contaminated because when I saw it, it immediately reminded me of bacterial contamination by Vocaloid or Hatsune Miku or whatever, one of them. I was obsessed with that music video and that song in elementary school, and I was like, well, I think drawing a character based on, and I'm gonna mispronounce this name super horribly, so please forgive me, Kane Ka would be really good for Gore-tober, so I did that. And luckily there's a shot of her without any like legs or arms, so I went that route for this, but I do like how it did turn out. So day 5, I chose Gunshot, and I really also like how Gunshot turned out, one of my favorites. I also managed to squeeze in day 6, which was Wither and Decay. This little rotting pumpkin over here. Poor dude. Okay, hold on. I am trying to get my thing to focus. I'm so sorry. Okay. But I do like how he turned out. If you can see. Oh god. Focus. Yeah, I like how he turned out. These are all on my Instagram if you want to see them in like much better quality and close up. But yeah. And this is where my Gore-tober downfall started. So day 7, I had gathered enough lists, and I was like, okay, well, I don't think I want to keep gathering new lists. I have to start recycling some. But I was kind of unsatisfied with like all of these different options that I had. And so I just went with Watch Your Head, which wasn't even a day 7 prompt. It was actually day 6. But you know what? Whatever. So I drew this, and I kind of hated how it turned out. I wish I'd went with like my original concept, which was like inspired by The Girl with the Green Ribbon, if you've ever read that story. But I just went with like that, and I hate it. So in an attempt to make it more interesting, I ripped up, shredded up some post-it notes to create points of interest. But that didn't really work out because you can't really see these two sticky notes unless obviously I point it out. But yeah, you can only really notice the pink one. So I was like, fuck, I hate this. And then day 8 was sewn shut. I don't really care for this one either. I mean, it's just a girl sewing herself shut. And there's like bugs and shit coming out of her, which is ironic because the prompt is sewn shut and she's clearly not sewn shut. So on to day 9. I actually was very excited about the day 9 because when I saw this list on the first day, I was like, I'm definitely going to use this list because of this prompt. And the prompt was Junji Ito. Originally, I was going to go with like a Layers of Fear inspired work, but then I just had to go with Tomie because she's Tomie, obviously. Are we surprised? No. I don't know why I said that like that. I'm so sorry. But I drew her with her innards displayed or whatever. I'm pretty sure that's not what a ribcage looks like. But in my defense, I was using the ball runway from Gottmik, her body bag look, as a reference because I didn't want to look up actual gore. And the ribcage kind of looks like that, so you can't really blame me. But anyway, I was like, well, this is a pretty strong finish for my Gore-tober attempt, and I made it farther than the last time I did a 30-day drawing challenge, so whatever. I gave up, as is written here. And then at this point, I had watched Squid Game, so I drew some doodles of Squid Game characters, namely 67 and 240. I know their names, I'm just not gonna say them because I'm so afraid of horribly mispronouncing them. But yeah, this scene made me cry. And then more 67 doodles, some doodles of the other players. Literally the main character, the other players. And then these are some scissor studies from my graphic design class. This is when I was thumbnailing for a Discord icon contest, which I haven't done any more work after more than these thumbnails, and the deadline is coming up soon, so I should probably get to working on that. And then at this point, I was like, well, I'm reaching the end here. I only have a few pages left, and I really want to get this over with. But I didn't want to do the thing like I did last time where I just leave all the pages blank. I wanted to finish the sketchbook properly and break out of that habit. But you can really tell here that I was just trying to get this shit over with. I was doing random sketches and doodles. But then I was like, no, let's not do that. Let's sit down, let's see what's around us, and let's try to apply it to these last few pages. So that's what I did over here. I did some swatches of some watercolor. Oh my god. If you can hear my dogs, I'm so sorry. But anyway, I did some swatches of these watercolors that I have had since middle school. And I haven't used these since middle school, I think. I haven't used watercolors in a hot minute. In fact, I've only been using gouache, both as like a watercolor and it's like a thick paint, since it is the best of both worlds. But yeah, I did actually like these swatches, so I might be using my old watercolors more. And then this was a set that I had gotten from the school. But yeah. Then I was just kind of drawing stuff around me with the old watercolors that I had. Some incoherent sketches and doodles, another Mitski lyric. She just got some good lyrics. And then over here I used India ink, this lovely thing, which I had to buy for my drawing class that I haven't actually used in my drawing class yet, so that's fun. But I actually really like India ink. I think it would make for a very interesting, like, grayscale, black and white, monochromatic type drawings. So I'll definitely try to explore more of that in the future. And then the final farewell spread. Yeah, I know I said I was gonna actually try to finish this, but I think this is still like a lot more effort than in my last sketchbook where I was just like, I think I just drew like a shitty like doodle of a person and then I was like, okay, bye. But I mean, at least there's more effort. That's good enough. And then I fucked up the India ink over here, so whatever. But actually, there's more. There's this guy on the very, very last page. Love him. But yeah, that concludes this second sketchbook tour. I hope this doesn't go wrong like the last one, because I will be very pissed off. But yeah, okay, since I showed this sketchbook, the first page spread in my last tour, I'm going to show the new one. Over here, we have a Strathmore mixed media art journal, 5.5 inches by 8 inches. I really wanted to get another Stillman and Burns sketchbook, but they were unavailable, so I had to settle for this one. Yeah, and this is the first page spread. It's already a lot more visually pleasing than this one, although I think I might add another, like, Club Penguin here, but we'll see. But yeah, I've always felt the need to hoard the sleeves that come with, like, these kind of bound sketchbooks. They're not that common with wire spiral sketchbooks, I don't think, but I figured that, you know what, I might as well just glue it into the first page, since I never, because up until my last sketchbook, I never put the first, like, I never drew on the first page. I always kept it blank, and then I was like, well, I could just put a start and end date or something. So yeah, for this I just glued in shit. I put sketchbook goals, where to contact me should I ever lose the sketchbook, and of course the start and end date. So yeah, that is the end of this sketchbook tour. I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you want to see more content. Namely, more sketchbook tours in the next few months, hopefully. I don't know, we'll see. I mean, I post covers and shit too. But yeah, thank you for watching. I'll have all my socials linked down below. I'm most active on Instagram, and my commissions are open, so if you want a digital commission, hit up your girl. But yeah, thank you if you stuck around for the entire duration of this video, and I will see y'all next time. Bye!